If you are over 60 and feel burning in your feet, numb toes, electric shock sensations, tingling, or trouble with balance, these symptoms are not just normal aging. They come from slow changes inside your body that have been building for many years. Most people are told that peripheral neuropathy happens because nerves simply wear out with age, like an old car losing power. Others are told it is genetic and nothing can be done. The usual message, spoken directly or implied, is to manage the pain and accept that it will slowly get worse. What is rarely explained is this: nerves do not fail without a reason. They respond to their environment. They depend on good blood flow, stable blood sugar, proper nutrients, and low inflammation. When this internal environment becomes harmful, nerves weaken. When it improves, nerves often function much better than expected. Peripheral neuropathy is not one single disease. It is a pattern of nerve damage. It happens when peripheral nerves, the long nerves that connect the brain and spinal cord to the rest of the body, start to malfunction. These nerves control feeling, movement, balance, temperature, and pain. Because these nerves are very long and need a lot of energy, they are especially sensitive to problems like unstable blood sugar, poor circulation, inflammation, and nutrient deficiencies. This is why symptoms usually begin in the feet and hands, the areas farthest from the heart and most dependent on tiny blood vessels. One key point is often missed. Nerve damage develops silently for years. For a long time, nerves are under stress without obvious symptoms. During this hidden phase, damage slowly builds. Proteins change shape, blood vessels stiffen, insulation around nerves thins, and electrical signals slow down. The nervous system compensates for a while, hiding the problem. By the time burning, numbness, or balance issues appear, the damage is already significant. This delay makes neuropathy feel sudden and unfair, even though it developed step by step over many years. A major contributor to this damage is a group of compounds called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These form when sugar permanently attaches to proteins and fats in the body. This process changes how tissues work. Once AGEs form, they are hard to remove and build up over time. AGEs damage tissues that need flexibility, precision, and good circulation, making nerves especially vulnerable. At the molecular level, glucose is essential fuel, but it is also chemically reactive. When blood sugar stays high for long periods, glucose sticks to proteins more often. Over time, this creates stiff, sticky crosslinks, similar to sugar caramelizing during cooking. Inside the body, this happens slowly but continuously when sugar control is poor. In peripheral nerves, AGEs cause damage in three major ways. First, they alter nerve fibers, interfering with accurate electrical signals. Second, they damage the myelin sheath, the protective coating that allows fast, smooth nerve signals. When myelin is harmed, signals slow or become distorted. Third, they injure the tiny blood vessels that supply nerves. When these vessels stiffen or narrow, nerves receive less oxygen and fewer nutrients. This explains the wide range of symptoms. Burning pain comes from irritated nerves. Numbness happens when signals are lost. Tingling comes from erratic firing. Weakness occurs when muscles receive faulty signals. Balance problems arise when sensory information becomes unreliable. Another overlooked fact is that fasting blood sugar tests tell only part of the story. Many people with neuropathy are told their sugar is normal because fasting levels look fine. But fasting shows only the lowest level of the day, not the damaging spikes. The most harmful sugar exposure happens after meals, when glucose rises and stays elevated for hours. Repeated post-meal spikes over many years drive age formation and nerve damage. As we age, the body becomes less efficient at clearing sugar from the blood. Muscle mass declines, insulin sensitivity drops, and glucose lingers longer after eating. Aging itself does not directly cause neuropathy, but it lowers metabolic resilience. combined with modern habits like frequent snacking, late-night eating, and processed foods. It creates ideal conditions for damage. Vitamin B12 is another key factor. It supports myelin, nerve repair, and toxin removal. B12 absorption often decreases with age and is further reduced by medications like acid blockers and metformin. Low B12 removes an important layer of nerve protection. Standard blood tests can miss functional B12 deficiency. Levels may appear normal, yet still be too low for nerve health. Many people unknowingly remain deficient for years before symptoms appear. Dietary ages also matter. Ages form not only in the body but also in food, especially when foods are grilled, fried, roasted, or browned. These preformed ages are absorbed and add to the body's burden. Cooking methods like steaming, poaching, and slow cooking greatly reduce age intake. Once damage begins, inflammation makes it worse. Ages activate immune responses that keep nerves irritated. This is why symptoms often worsen at night, when circulation slows and inflammation lingers. Poor sleep then worsens insulin resistance and stress hormones, leading to higher sugar levels the next day. This creates a vicious cycle of pain, poor sleep, and ongoing nerve damage. Movement is one of the most powerful tools to break this cycle. Muscles remove glucose from the blood after meals. Even short walks can sharply reduce post-meal sugar spikes. The benefit is not intense exercise or weight loss. It is improved metabolic control. Muscle strength also matters. Muscle loss reduces the body's ability to clear glucose. Gentle resistance training preserves muscle and indirectly protects nerves. Its effects build slowly but are extremely important. Hydration supports circulation and metabolic clearance. Dehydration thickens the blood and reduces capillary flow. Many older adults drink less without realizing it, increasing nerve vulnerability. Regular fluid intake improves blood flow with little effort. Stress also plays a role. Chronic stress raises cortisol, which increases blood sugar and insulin resistance. Stress alone does not cause neuropathy, but it worsens the conditions that damage nerves. One of the most harmful beliefs about neuropathy is that nothing can be done. This belief leads to resignation and inaction. While severely damaged nerves may not fully recover, many partially damaged nerves can stabilize and function better when the internal environment improves. People often notice less pain, better balance, improved sleep, and a higher quality of life once new damage slows or stops. The goal is not perfection. It is protection. Every hour of stable blood sugar reduces nerve injury. Every good night of sleep supports repair. Every reduction in inflammation improves signaling. Over time, small improvements add up. Neuropathy is not only a nerve problem, it is largely a metabolic problem that shows up in nerves first. Seeing it this way changes everything. It shifts focus from managing symptoms alone to addressing root causes. This does not promise miracles, but it offers something more reliable: real influence over progression. That influence matters. As people begin to understand that peripheral neuropathy develops from long-term metabolic stress, not sudden nerve failure, an important realization often follows. The nervous system does not work alone. Nerve health depends on many other systems in the body. Blood vessels, muscles, hormones, the immune system, and even the gut all influence whether nerves stay healthy or weaken. This is why neuropathy rarely appears by itself. It often comes with fatigue, poor sleep, digestive issues, balance problems, or mild brain fog. These are not separate problems. They are different signs of the same underlying imbalance. One commonly missed issue is chronically high blood sugar after meals, even when it never reaches diabetes levels. Many people live in this middle zone for years. Blood sugar rises too high and stays elevated too long, yet standard tests still look normal. During this time, ages slowly build up and damage nerves. Without a clear diagnosis, people assume everything is fine. But nerves do not respond to lab labels. They respond to their chemical environment. Muscle plays a major role in controlling blood sugar. After eating, insulin signals muscles to absorb glucose. When muscle mass declines, as it often does with age unless maintained, this process becomes less effective. Sugar stays in the blood longer, increasing nerve damage. This explains why neuropathy risk rises with age even in people who are thin and appear healthy. This muscle-glucose connection also explains why regular movement is so protective, even without major diet changes. A short walk after meals can significantly reduce sugar spikes. Over months and years, this means fewer ages, lower inflammation, and better blood flow to nerves. The benefits may start small, but they grow steadily with consistency. Circulation is central to the problem. Peripheral nerves rely on a delicate network of tiny blood vessels. These vessels are highly vulnerable to sugar damage and oxidative stress. Ages stiffen vessel walls, reduce their ability to widen, and limit blood flow. As a result, nerves receive less oxygen and fewer nutrients. This is why symptoms usually begin in the feet. It is not because feet are weak, but because they are farthest from the heart and depend on the smallest blood vessels. It also explains why symptoms often worsen at night or in cold weather, times when circulation naturally slows. Smoking history further increases risk because blood vessel damage can persist for years, compounding metabolic stress even long after quitting. Inflammation connects every part of this process. Ages activate immune pathways that increase inflammation and oxidative stress. This damages nerve mitochondria, reduces energy production, and worsens insulin resistance. Inflammation both results from nerve injury and drives further damage, creating a self-reinforcing loop. Sleep plays a crucial role in recovery. During deep sleep, inflammation decreases, insulin sensitivity improves, and repair processes are activated. When neuropathy disrupts sleep, this repair window shortens. Over time, poor sleep worsens metabolic control and accelerates nerve damage. Late-night eating makes this worse. Insulin sensitivity is lower at night, so eating close to bedtime keeps blood sugar elevated when the body should be repairing. Simply eating earlier in the evening often improves sleep and gradually reduces neuropathy symptoms, without special diets or medications. Gut health also affects nerves. The digestive system controls nutrient absorption, immune balance, and inflammation. Poor gut function can reduce absorption of key nutrients like B vitamins and magnesium. It can also increase low-grade inflammation throughout the body. Gut problems may not directly cause neuropathy, but they increase risk and slow recovery. The emotional side matters too. Chronic discomfort, uncertainty, and fear of worsening symptoms can lead to anxiety or low mood. These states raise stress hormones, disrupt sleep, and reduce motivation for self-care. This creates another cycle, emotional stress feeding physical decline. Breaking this cycle requires compassion, realistic expectations, and support. Not all neuropathy is metabolic in origin. Autoimmune conditions, infections, toxins, chemotherapy, injuries, and genetic disorders can also damage nerves. However, metabolic health still affects severity and progression, regardless of the original cause. Improving blood sugar stability, circulation, and inflammation protects nerves in nearly all cases. When people begin improving their internal environment, changes usually happen gradually. Pain may lessen, sleep may improve, balance may feel steadier, some sensation may return slightly. These changes can be easy to overlook if dramatic recovery is expected, but they are real signs that nerve damage is slowing. Progress should be measured over weeks and months, not day by day. Nerve repair is slow by nature. Setbacks and bad days are normal. One difficult day does not erase long-term progress. Trends over time tell the true story. In advanced neuropathy, the goal becomes preservation. Slowing further loss can greatly improve daily life. Better sleep, reduced pain, and improved balance support independence and safety, even if full sensation does not return. Medical care remains essential. Sudden changes or rapid worsening require evaluation. Medications should never be adjusted without medical guidance. Lifestyle measures support medical treatment. They do not replace it. Research continues to change how neuropathy is understood. What was once seen as unavoidable aging is now recognized as a process influenced by metabolism and daily habits. Complete reversal is not realistic for everyone, but many people have far more control than they were led to believe. The most important shift is perspective. Neuropathy does not simply happen. It develops within a certain internal environment. Change that environment and you change the outcome. Not instantly or completely, but meaningfully. Long-term management depends on small, steady habits, not dramatic interventions. Nerves respond to consistency, not short bursts of effort. One perfect week followed by months of old habits does little. Modest changes maintained over years can completely alter the trajectory. Continuing. Same simple language, same meaning, no added ideas, no cuts to logic. Here's the next section. Aging naturally brings changes that increase neuropathy risk. Insulin sensitivity declines, mitochondria become less efficient, and low-level inflammation slowly rises. These changes happen even in people who look healthy and maintain normal weight. They are subtle and easy to ignore until symptoms finally appear. Aging also affects the connection between nerves and muscles. Over time, some motor nerves pull back from muscle fibers. Remaining nerves try to compensate, but their capacity is limited. Gradually, movement becomes less precise, balance weakens, and coordination declines. This raises fall risk and often leads to reduced activity, which then accelerates muscle loss and metabolic decline. Foot care becomes increasingly important as neuropathy progresses. Reduced sensation means injuries can go unnoticed. Small cuts, pressure points, blisters, or cracks may not cause pain but can become serious problems. Daily foot checks are essential. Proper footwear, moisturizing dry skin, trimming nails carefully, and watching for redness or swelling help prevent complications. Many severe outcomes linked to neuropathy begin with simple foot issues that were not felt in time. Chronic pain also changes how the brain processes signals. Over time, pain centers in the brain can become overly sensitive, a process known as central sensitization. This amplifies discomfort even when nerve damage is stable. Neuropathy care must therefore include calming the nervous system itself. Gentle breathing, slow movement, relaxation techniques, and mindfulness can reduce symptom intensity by lowering nervous system overactivity. Certain nutrients deserve careful attention. Vitamin B12 deficiency can mimic or worsen neuropathy. Magnesium supports nerve signaling and muscle relaxation. These should be evaluated with medical guidance, but understanding their importance helps identify correctable factors that might otherwise be missed. Hydration remains a simple but powerful support. Even mild dehydration thickens blood and reduces oxygen delivery through tiny vessels. Because thirst sensation weakens with age, many people are chronically underhydrated without realizing it. Regular fluid intake supports nerve circulation with minimal effort. Social connection also matters. Loneliness increases stress, disrupts sleep, and lowers motivation for self-care. Maintaining relationships with family, friends, or community groups supports emotional health and indirectly improves physical outcomes. Many people find movement and healthy habits easier to maintain when shared with others. Fear of worsening symptoms can quietly limit activity. Some avoid movement to prevent pain or falls, but inactivity often speeds decline. Gentle, appropriate activity is safer than complete rest. Nerves benefit from regular stimulation. Inactivity signals the body that the area is no longer needed, reducing repair priority. Doctor visits for chronic conditions can feel rushed. Preparing notes about symptoms, changes, and questions leads to more productive appointments. Advocating for oneself improves care and outcomes. This is not confrontation. It is an essential part of long-term health management. Caregivers also need support. Watching a loved one live with chronic discomfort is emotionally exhausting. Understanding that progress is uneven and setbacks are normal helps manage expectations. Supporting caregivers ultimately helps the person with neuropathy as well. Over time, the power of small, consistent choices becomes clear. Those who focus on metabolic stability, regular movement, quality sleep, hydration, and emotional well-being often experience slower progression and fewer complications. Symptoms may remain, but they become more manageable. Life stays active rather than increasingly restricted. One crucial realization is this: neuropathy is something you have. It is not who you are. You remain a person with history, relationships, abilities, interests, and purpose. Keeping this identity prevents the condition from taking more than it should. B vitamin status deserves regular monitoring, especially after age 50, or when using medications like metformin or acid reducers. Testing B12, folate, and B6 can identify deficiencies before serious nerve damage develops. Early correction supports myelin maintenance and nerve resilience. Hydration, sleep, and stress management form the foundation of prevention. Adequate water keeps circulation efficient. Good sleep supports nightly repair. Simple stress reduction, walking, breathing, time outdoors, reduces cortisol and improves glucose control. For families, prevention has lasting benefits. Habits that protect nerves also reduce risks of heart disease, diabetes, and cognitive decline. When older adults adopt healthier routines, younger generations often follow naturally. Prevention becomes a shared lifestyle rather than a response to illness. Discussions about neuropathy can shift from fear-based warnings to practical guidance. Instead of, "You don't want to end up like this," the message becomes, "Here's what helps long-term." Family walks, earlier dinners, gentler cooking. These changes feel manageable and empowering. Screening plays a role as well. Tracking fasting glucose, HbA1c, and when possible, post-meal levels can reveal early trends. Even values within normal ranges can drift upward over years. Catching this early allows small adjustments before damage accumulates. One of the strongest protective mindsets is curiosity rather than resignation. People who stay curious about how food timing, activity, and sleep affect their body tend to make better long-term choices. Awareness grows before symptoms demand attention. Prevention does not mean stopping all decline. It means slowing the slope. Someone in their 70s or 80s with mild symptoms, stable balance, and preserved independence usually arrived there through decades of steady habits, not extreme measures. This information is not secret or complex. It reflects decades of research on metabolism, inflammation, and nerve biology. What has often been missing is a clear, connected explanation, especially for older adults or families supporting them. Peripheral neuropathy is not an unstoppable verdict. It is a delayed signal that the internal environment has been under strain for too long. The encouraging truth is that the same environment can usually be guided toward greater stability. You do not need to reverse decades overnight. You only need to stop adding to the damage today and continue tomorrow and the next day. Every hour of steadier blood sugar, every gentle walk, every good night of sleep supports nerve preservation. Over months and years, these choices add up. They may not erase past damage, but they change the story. From inevitable decline to managed stability, from helplessness to influence. That shift, from nothing can be done to I can affect this, is where real change begins. And once it begins, it usually continues. Long-term nerve health is shaped by patterns, not moments. Nerves respond to what happens most of the time, not what happens occasionally. Skipping care for weeks cannot be fixed by one good day, just as years of damage did not occur from one bad choice. Biology works through repetition. This is why consistency matters more than intensity. Gentle daily movement protects nerves more than rare, strenuous exercise. Regular sleep supports repair more than occasional long nights. Stable eating rhythms matter more than short-term restriction. Small actions repeated quietly carry more power than dramatic efforts that fade. It is also important to release self-blame. Neuropathy develops slowly and often invisibly. Many people did exactly what they were told, trusted routine tests, and assumed symptoms were just aging. This was not negligence. It was missing information. Understanding replaces guilt with clarity, and clarity supports better choices going forward. Progress is rarely linear. Some days will feel worse for no clear reason. Weather changes, stress, poor sleep, or illness can temporarily increase symptoms. These fluctuations do not mean failure. They are part of living with a sensitive nervous system. What matters is the overall direction across months and years. Celebrating small wins is essential. Better sleep, slightly steadier walking, less nighttime burning, improved confidence moving around the house. These are not minor gains. They reflect meaningful biological improvement and stabilization. Support systems matter. Whether through family, friends, healthcare providers, or community groups, shared understanding reduces isolation. Feeling seen and supported lowers stress and strengthens follow-through on healthy routines. Above all, neuropathy should not be allowed to shrink life unnecessarily. With informed care, many people continue to travel, socialize, exercise, and enjoy meaningful activities. Adjustments may be needed, but withdrawal is not required. Neuropathy is a condition, not a sentence. It signals that the body has been under strain, but it also signals an opportunity to respond. While damage cannot always be undone, the future is rarely fixed. Every choice that improves metabolic stability, circulation, sleep, and emotional well-being is a step toward preservation. These steps may feel small, but biology responds to accumulation. The nervous system remembers its environment. Give it fewer insults and more support, and it often responds with greater stability. That is not false hope. It is realistic biology, and that realism is empowering.